Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Sully Squad. Had a little technical difficulties. I don't know. That was about as shitty as the Eagles ending. I have no idea.
I was gonna say that was a waste. That was a waste of a minute right there.
Yeah, I know. I'm never gonna get that back. Christ.
I'd like to say a flag on that, and I want the officiating crew on that.
Yeah, that's a Joe ejection right there.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know where the hell the song went. I don't know. It said opening. Well, that shit
all
sucked.
good.
So ixnay that one. Fucking that was basically like the Eagles defense on the last drive.
Yeah, that was fucking the Eagles defense in the second half.
Yeah, that was like as much as I love him, that was like Devontae Smith coming up with butter hands.
Fucking geez. 2 drops away from being 14-1, dude.
Yeah, so all right, well, hey, you know what? We're throw it off a little bit. First L, it's first L we took since the Phillies lost in the same day. So
we had to lose Jalen for it.
What's that?
And we had to lose Jalen. You know?
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. But I got my full squad though. I got my man Sean Kilrain right to my side right there. What's up, dog? How you doing?
What's up, man? Just chilling. Just unfortunately sulking in this horrible loss yesterday, but back to drawing board. Bring on those Cowgirls.
Yeah, then I got my man Diego the Hammer Bianchi, Mr. 6 for 6 is back with the Flyers, John. What, moving on from the Eagles already, brother? What's up? It's only one
No, whatever. It was a tough day, dude. Fucking change it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Well, yeah, we're ready to throw it down. You know what, I was hoping I would get this after a dub, but I got my exciting white shirt just came in, yo.
Yeah, I see. As you sent us a picture, I was pretty fat.
Yeah. So I mean, it'd be more fat if we had won. You know what I mean? But tough L yesterday. So we're open with the Eagles here. And then obviously we got Phillies. Getting a little Phillies talk later because I was wondering if Dave Dombrowski was still alive. But looks like they made some moves. Phillies went out there, got an outfielder. They got Max. What was his name?
Kepler.
Yeah, Kepler.
And they got Luzardo.
Luzardo's the move I like. That was a great move. That kid's got an arm, man. But the only concern about him is he's coming off a back injury. But I think he's under team control through 2026. So, we'll see what happens there. I thought that was a great move. And then today they signed the guy, Joe Kelly, starter reliever. Starter reliever, can do a little bit of everything. He's kind of like this year's what was the guy we had last year, guys? What was it? Trumbo? No. Who the hell was the pitcher we had that got hurt? I'm drawing a blank. Trumbull?
Spencer
Turnbull, yeah.
Spencer
Turnbull, that's it.
Turnbull, he was good.
Yeah, Turnbull, Trumbull. Either way, he's got fucking injury problems, but he started off pretty good. So hopefully this guy Kelly could come in and do something. And that kind of makes me wonder if maybe maybe our man, as much as I love Ranger Suarez and I love his gumption and his his what's the word, like guile, you know what I mean? Like as far as like he's a battler, Ranger Suarez's days on this team might be numbered after these moves. So we'll see. So we'll get into that, but let's start off with the Birds here. Obviously a very, very tough loss. I guess, Diego, I'll start off with you, man. Like, what biggest impression, biggest takeaway from the game, other than like, pretty much we're screwed on the number 1 seed unless there's like a miracle. Like, what was your biggest takeaway from the game yesterday?
I thought it was going to be hard to get that number 1 seed regardless. Jalen gets hurt. Kenny Pickett didn't play that bad, I don't think. That's not why we lost. Our defense kind of fell apart. Mitchell finally gave up a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest takeaway of the game to me. Terry McLaurin gave him a little bit of a problem, but after he scored that touchdown, they didn't go back to his side.
Yeah.
But the defense falling apart in the second half, that's probably my biggest concern. But it's not like they're doing that every week, so just an off week. Jaden Daniels played out of his mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. And I'll tell you what, like, I mean, this is more of a big picture. This is more big picture than necessarily this year. You could see it, man. Like, if that kid stays healthy, Washington's going to be a problem for the next, like, at least 6 to 10 years. Only because, like, you think about it. Washington turns the ball over 5 times yesterday, and that kid just makes plays. Like, how many times?
Fourth down.
What's that?
4th and 11. He picked up that 4th and 11.
Yeah,
the end of the game.
Yeah, it killed us, man, because there were so many times where we had him, we had them stopped, and he would make a run or he'd scramble a little bit and hit a guy down the field. So that it's and like, honestly, watching that game, the reason they won is that kid. Like that kid's not
for
only,
sure.
He's not only like top rookie of the year, but like he's got to be top 5 MVP race.
I'd say at the year, yeah, definitely.
I mean, I got ESPN on right now. He's 24 for 39, 258, 5 touchdowns, and 81 rushing yards. So, he's going to, big picture, he's going to be a problem. But Sean, what was your biggest?
Yeah, but the Eagles have that young defense to combat Jaden Daniels in the division. You know what I'm saying? For a long time.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, I'm not. The kid can play. And I'm not. I mean, I'm not sitting here telling you like I'm conceding the division to these dudes. I mean, I'm just saying though, like the days of us going down to Washington and like having like 20,000 Eagles fans go down there and clown the shit out of them in their shitty ass stadium.
Yeah, that's over.
They're over. Then now these are going to be fights now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sean, what was your biggest takeaway from the game?
Damn special teams, man. Look at the special teams. The kickoff to Luke McCaffrey, Brandon Mann just giving it to him. 2 solid returns.
So what the hell happened to Jake Elliott, dude? Like, he made a 50-yarder yesterday, then he was short on that, 6-yarder?
Yeah.
I mean, as long and even to bring up, like, injuries, officiating, but, take that loss and, just move on from it, It's, they were zoned in on Saquon, In
the second half.
Yeah. Kenny Pickett's your true in the pocket passer, where Jalen Hurts, once we lost him, he's your RPO kind of guy. He's good with his legs. I mean, back to the drawing board, And then Zacchaeus, the guy that we had, they made him look like a damn superstar. 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Jameson bust-ass Crowder. Come on.
Yeah, Crowder looked like the old Crowder.
Yeah. I mean, look at the tape, get back to the drawing board. And just like Joey and you said, getting that number 1 seed is, a miracle. But it would be nice. But just go out and ball, you know?
Yeah, ESPN has it right here. It says
Yeah.
chance for number 1 seed: Lions 77%, Vikings 21%, Eagles 2%.
Yeah, we're not getting that.
Nah. Well, the only way, well, it would all. I mean, it would all come down. Basically, it all would be decided next week. You would need Detroit would have to lose in San Francisco. The Packers would have to beat the Vikings in Minnesota, and then you would need the Vikings to beat Detroit in Detroit.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if that then somehow it goes into some like common opponent type John or something. So I'm not really sure exactly how that goes, but I mean,
What was your biggest takeaway of the game, Joe?
You know what? The lack of discipline. I love CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel like maybe it was a little weak that he got thrown out of the game for talking shit. You know what I mean? Especially when he got punched in the face. But the bottom line is, though, like you can't
Get your emotions.
Yeah, you can't put your team in that situation. Like the minute he left that game, they attacked the shit out of that kid McCollum.
Yeah, McCollum, he didn't look that great.
No, in fact, the one touchdown, I think he had a big missed tackle. Then I think there was another third down. He had a big missed tackle. So the lack of discipline was my biggest takeaway. The other one, honestly, for anybody out there saying that Jalen Hurts, like any quarterback could come in here and this offense runs the same, I think yesterday was a real telling. It was a real telling game to show you how important Jalen Hurts is to this football team, because the dynamics of the running game really changed once Hurts got out of that game. Like I think Saquon had that long touchdown run with Kenny Pickett, but other than that long run, Saquon really didn't do shit. I mean, they basically stacked the line. They forced Kenny Pickett to beat him, and you didn't have that threat of Jalen Hurts keeping the football. I guess if you're a Jalen Hurts guy, you go out there and say, hey, you know what, stop hating on my man. Like he's actually really important to this offense.
Right, he is.
I'll tell you another takeaway too. I know Washington scored, so obviously they get the, they get the what do you call it, the props. That last drive, had they not scored, their fans would have been criticizing the shit. I thought Washington was terrible in that last drive. Their clock management was dog shit.
It was horrible. That dude jumped off sides.
Yes, he did. That's what I was just going to say. That's ridiculous. The officiating was horrendous on both sides.
If we're being real, though, Devontae Smith catches the ball, we win. It was pretty no matter how bad we played bad on defense, got to make that catch.
Oh, he said it himself. He knows. But I'll tell you right now, damn well, he ain't missing another one. He's going to make people that are giving him that crow and all, make them eat their words. That's
why we lost. I thought as soon as he dropped that ball, I'm like, we're going to lose.
Yeah. And
we haven't stopped Daniels all half.
Yeah, and I can't. I heard a couple people on the radio, I can't kill Sirianni for not going for it, because it was you have your backup quarterback. It was a 4th and 5, and if you don't get the first down, then they only need a field goal. I feel like Sirianni had to kick the field goal there. I think
he played it right. He played it right. Take the field goal, make them score a touchdown. There's a minute and 6 seconds left or something like that?
Yeah.
I think he played it right.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying there were a few people, because I know a few weeks back, Dan Campbell went for it against Green Bay in a similar situation. But if memory serves me right, though, I think Campbell went for it in a 4th and 2, I think. It
doesn't matter. He went with it. He went with it with a starting quarterback in the game.
Right.
You have Jalen Hurts. Maybe you think about it a little bit differently, but you got Kenny Pickett in the game. You got to play it a little more cautious when you got your backup quarterback in there.
Here's my man Dave Yornell. Hey, Sully Squad, Merry Christmas to you guys. Merry Christmas,
Merry
Dave.
Christmas
And
to you,
Merry
Dave.
Christmas, dog.
I gotta give credit to Dave though, because I've been saying, I said it last week too, because about 4 or 5 weeks ago, he said the Cowboys were going to win out. Now they didn't quite win out; they lost to Cincinnati, but and we were clowning the shit out of them. But got to be a little real, man. Dallas is actually starting to play some good football, and
Yeah, they don't look that bad.
yeah,
Especially on defense, man. They're balling.
yeah, and this game coming up this Sunday. Especially if Jalen Hurts isn't playing, it's this isn't the gimme layup win that we thought it was a month ago. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, if the Eagles lose on Sunday and Washington beats Atlanta, there's going to be some tight sphincters at Lincoln Financial Field that playing the Giants that last week.
So if you clinch it this week, do you let Saquon has a big game? Do you let Saquon go for the record against the Giants?
That's a tough one, man. Because if we're the two, if you think about it, I don't know that, that's good. That's going to be something that the players are going to have to decide, because the one thing, you want to rest your players, right? Because, and basically use week 18 as a bye, because you have to play the next week. But if the offensive line and the players and Saquon, if they really want to give him a half or a couple quarters to get that record, I almost think you got to pray the rosary that he doesn't get hurt and just see if he gets the record, because you're kind of that could kind of make I'm not going to say you'd ruin the locker room. That's not that deep, but you know what I mean? It's one of them things where you might have to just kind of just hope for the best,
Steffner said that you bench Saquon, you make sure the Giants win that game, and the Giants go from a 1-2 pick to a 7 pick and don't get the quarterback they want. And then you screw them 2 times.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, but here's the thing, though. It all comes down. Well, obviously, it all comes down to whether they beat the Cowboys.
Yeah.
If we lose to the Cowboys this coming week, then
you have to win.
They got to win that game.
Right.
Maurice Wright says 280 or something. Saquon needs to break the record.
260, I thought. 268 or something.
234. 234.
234.
See, that's definitely
records
doable.
are made to be broken, like I said to you, Joey. But
he's breaking it in 17 games, though.
It's the playoffs. Forget it. I want a healthier, like Joey said, I want a healthier Saquon, and I want these guys playoff ready. I would love to see him break Dickerson's record, but nah. I want to go further and further into the playoffs without any of our guys, not one individual guy, all the guys healthy.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think we're all pretty much in agreement. My point is, though, we don't know what's being talked about in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? If he goes, say hypothetically, and I also think it depends on how many yards he needs. If say he goes out this Sunday and he rushes for 160 versus Dallas, then we're talking. If he goes into that
75 yards.
Needing 70, 75 yards, well, they may say, hey, you know what? We're gonna have him go out there and at least maybe you don't sit him the whole, maybe you give him a half. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You give him
and speed them all half.
Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? So but that's a tough one, man, because what's ironic? Not that you'd root for this, because I think anybody in their right mind wants the Eagles to win this week, especially considering it's Dallas and we hate Dallas.
Yeah.
But if you want Saquon to break the record, it might actually be better if you're strictly a Saquon record winner, then it might work better if the Eagles lose this week, because then they have to play week 18. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want that, though. As much as I'd like to see Saquon break the record, I don't really give that. I'm not going to Frankfurt and Cotman for Saquon's record. You know what I mean? We're going to Frankfurt and Cotman if they make the Super Bowl.
Damn right.
Right.
Paul Spencer says, if Hurts doesn't play, Dallas can beat them. Cowboys are playing with house money. Not saying I care, but it makes the game more interesting.
Definitely.
Totally agree with you, Paul. You guys are playing good football. And that surprised the shit out of me last night too. By the way, like
back-to-back strips with the secondary guys, right? Like we said it before we got on, Joey.
Yeah.
The guy James with McMillan, and I think Darnell Bland. But yeah, I mean, they were bringing it to Baker, boy. They were bringing.
Yeah, that surprised me because when I looked at the games this week, I mean the games that I really loved, like I really thought that Tampa Bay was going to go. I mean, even though Dallas was playing better football, I thought Tampa Bay was going to go down there and beat them. Like that.
Exactly.
So did I. That was the last leg of my parlay.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that surprised the shit out of me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And in fact, like I had Tampa Bay. I didn't even mess with the play. I had money line, so I wasn't even concerned with the 3. You know what I mean? Like it was just straight money line. So I was surprised.
Right.
Here's Fuji. He says, "What's good,
Fuji?
fellas? Merry Christmas and happy holidays." What's up, Fuji? How you doing?
Merry Christmas, food.
Happy Festivus. Well, hey, listen. Merry Christmas, and right now with the Eagles losing, we're airing some grievances. So let's, based on Festivus, let's. All right, we did the takeaways. Any grievances you want to air on the Eagles?
Not really.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one that kind of pissed. Cal Quintera's been playing some good football. Yesterday was the first time I felt like I really missed Dallas Goedert because Cal Quintera got his ass beat, like two big ass plays in the blocking. Like there were 2 plays where he just got freaking stuffed. I think the one was a sack fumble on Pritchard, where I think or Pickett, where he missed his assignment and the dude went right around him. Mm-hmm. And then there was another in the run game where he totally missed a block, and Saquon. Actually, there was a few in the run game where I think he missed a couple blocks, and Saquon was getting tackled for like 4 or 5 losses.
Yeah.
Mine's Jordan Davis, you big bitch.
He got hurt a little bit.
Yeah. Put some dirt.
I think Jordan Davis. I don't think Jordan Davis's numbers are ever going to show like big numbers. I think he does a lot more than people think, just being big.
Yeah, and then
but they don't need him to sack the quarterback. That's what Jalen Carter do in our defensive ends. They just need him to clog up space, and when the other team needs to run on you, there's no hole there.
Tell you what, man, Milton Williams, man, the stats. I sent it to Joe.
He got a big penalty yesterday, though. Big roughing the passer penalty.
Yeah, that was not roughing the passer. Once again, these refs got to get their head out of their asses. It was nothing. But I'm not throwing the flags. It's just I hope Sirianni sends tape with the CJ DJ.
Well, you don't know what CJ said though. He was obviously saying some. He said he must have said some fucked up shit for the fucking ref.
Oh, he did.
He said some shit because the ref pointed at him like, bro, you crossed the line right there.
Yeah, he probably.
You can say things, dude, but you already had one. You got to be smarter there. If you're going to say what you want to say, then make sure you ain't got the first one.
Yeah, he told the ref, he's like, yo, your mom is so fat, I rolled over twice and I'm still on the bench.
That's what I'm saying. He probably told the dude in the other team, like, yo, I'm going to see your mom answer this. Dude was like, yeah, he just crossed the line. Like, why'd you bring his mom into it?
We did a train on her.
So, like, I don't know. I think that was very, like Joe said, undisciplined. You're a vet. That's all on you.
Yeah, what was that, John from Nutty Professor? Yo, your mama's so fat she got her toenails painted an Earl shine. All right, let's see. Marie, I agree with Maurice right here because I would have thrown a little bit more to the tight end. He says, terrible play calling yesterday. I didn't see any attempts to throw to tight end, and Pickett can't run for shit, so they were limited.
I think they made it clear when Pickett came in. He was only throwing to 2 guys.
Yeah.
Pickett's like, I'm going to throw the ball. I'm throwing to the 2 best players on the team.
Yeah, I mean, I might have looked for the tight end a little bit more. The one thing I will say though, like, I mean, I know Pickett is obviously no Jalen Hurts. I think Pickett's a little bit better of an athlete though. I mean, he's not a statue back there. In fact,
yeah, he can move.
And in fact, if he's the guy this week, it wouldn't surprise me if to get the running game going, if they actually early in the game, if they actually do run a couple read options where he keeps the football just to try to keep the defense honest. It wouldn't shock me.
I could say.
I like. Go ahead. I'd like to see the Eagles do that trick play that the Lions did with Goff.
Yeah, that was wild. That was good.
That would be beautiful.
He had the announcer. They had the announcers full. He was like, Gibbs just fell on the play. Fucking God stumbled. There's a bomb.
Yeah, you know what's fun? You know what's funny though? That was a really good play call. It's surprising they used that John on the Bears though. I would have kept that shit for the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, did you know what I mean? Like, it's all cool and all, but like if you're the Lions, you're like, damn, did we really have to do that shit?
Yeah, but maybe you're like that's like really just like a playing around play. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not something they're not. I feel like it wasn't something they're willing to run in a big game. It was like we're playing the Bears, dude. Have fun.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, kind of.
Jahmyr Gibbs unreal.
Yeah, it's kind of like them Andy Reid Johns. Like, you know, Andy Reid always does the trick plays. Like the one time they did what was it, the boy band play?
Yeah, which one?
I forget. He did one play where everybody was like kind of in the huddle like this or whatever, and then like Mahomes. I don't know, dude. He does all kinds of weird shit, you know. But any other hang on a second. We got one here. Maurice Wright says play Tanner then. He's mobile. I think Pickett. I think Pickett's more mobile than Tanner's like. Is Tanner mobile? He feels like he looks like Nick Foles to me, kind of.
No, he's mobile. He was mobile at Stanford.
I think Pickett moves better than Tanner. Pickett's not a statue. Like Joe said, like he ran for a couple yards yesterday. You can see he can move.
Yeah, well, you know, Pickett got a little banged up in the game yesterday. Like
he got evaluated for.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I didn't hear like the press conference today or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with Jalen? Because that's a thing too with this concussion protocol. Like he really can't do shit until later in the week. So it makes you wonder, like, you know, if Pickett's getting all the reps, are they just going to roll with him this week regardless?
I don't think so. I think if Jalen's ready, he plays.
He has to
get cleared protocol. He plays.
He has to get cleared by the team doctor. They were saying, Joey. I watched Sirianni a little bit on the press conference, and get cleared by the neurologist. And it's like a 1, 2, 3 thing. Get cleared by them, and he's ready to rock and roll. But we don't know the severity of or the symptoms, how bad they are. But hopefully they're mild, and we can move on from it.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? I mean, we need Jalen. So, like, would they consider getting John Voight from Varsity Blues as the doctor? You know what I mean? With Billy, no, you're all right. You know? He's saying like 5. You know what I'm saying?
And get Jamie Foxx as the back.
David's eyes are all like he's like. The dude was like, "Psych, dude, you're knocked out."
The ref's like, "Yeah, you got to go to."
Yeah, he was. You could tell he was rocked.
Yeah.
I know the coach. Like, yeah, remember that movie Varsity Blues? He's like Billy Bob. He's like, you know, basically he's like, I'm seeing 5. That's all right. Get your ass in there. Hey man, you know, like, give Jalen some Robitussin. You know what I mean?
Rub it on there. Yeah, rub it on your head, dude.
Cures all. You know what I mean? But now, all kidding aside, I mean, hey, you know what? If he's not right, then he shouldn't play. I'm only.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right. Jalen's tough, dude.
Yeah, but it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're tough, though. You know what I mean? If you don't pass that protocol, you're out.
Yeah, but I think he will.
Well, let's hope, right? That's all we can hope because, you know, I think they can beat Dallas with Pickett, but with the way Dallas is playing, you know, it's you know, that game's going from like one that I thought we were going to be chilling to all of a sudden we're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it got a little dicey now.
So, all right, yeah, I guess we'll move on to the Dallas game in a minute. Real quick, any other takeaways from the league in general? Like did anything stick out to you guys? I'll give you mine.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the Raiders. I mean, if you're a Raiders fan, you're like, you literally had the number 1 pick. And you won the most meaningless ass game versus Jacksonville. Dude, they went from 1 to 7 in the draft by winning.
Yeah, it was dumb.
God, I mean, if I'm the Raiders owner, like I'm like, but see
Peace out, Antonio.
the problem is though, like let's be real, you can't tell football players not to play hard. Like you can do that shit in basketball, but like because you could kind of talk it in the NBA, but in the NFL, you're gonna get straight. If you don't play hard, dude, you're gonna get straight up hurt, like hurt and hurt.
Yeah, yeah, so, you gotta be. Your head's gotta be on a swivel.
Yeah. All right. What is yours?
The Texans can't catch a break. Stephon Diggs ACL. Tank Dell can't catch a break. See his leg?
Yeah.
Torn ACL, dislocated kneecap. I mean, and now they one positive sign, they picked up Deontay Johnson as his so-called
waivers.
Hopefully he gets better. I've seen that injury, man, and it wasn't pretty.
And Josh Allen hurt his hand. That could be
broke,
something to watch.
Mm-hmm. Sam Darnold's my thing. Wow, boy, is he balling.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold's nice and everything. I think he'll find a way to screw it up in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because I'm actually I totally agree with you. In fact, I'm hoping Minnesota gets the number 1 seed. That's actually what I want. I want Minnesota. I know Detroit's banged up, but I really want no parts. And not saying Minnesota's not a tough, because Minnesota's a tough place to play too. But I just have that feeling that even though Sam Darnold's had a really good year, I see him lumping the fuck up in a big spot. So to me, let Minnesota get the 1, and then we could be the 2. I honestly think that actually, for instance, if it all goes to chalk, right? If the Eagles are 2, the Eagles would play. Say the 3 seed, say the Rams or whatever, right? So it'd be LA at Philly. Well, it'd be cold as shit, hopefully. And then if Minnesota's the 1, in all likelihood, they would play Detroit the first game. I think Detroit could go to Minnesota, beat them, and then the championship game would be Detroit at Philadelphia here.
Right.
Or say Minnesota beats Detroit. Okay, we got to go to Minnesota to beat them. Well, then I'll take our chances with our running game, our defense, and even though Minnesota's got weapons, that kid lumping the fuck up. I could see him lumping it.
I could too. I wouldn't trust Sam Darnold just yet as a Vikings fan.
No, could you imagine though? Here's another takeaway too, like the Jets with another loss, like and based off of Sam Darnold. Like imagine being a Jets fan and like you had like a whole suck for Sam thing back in 2017. He goes to your program, looks like dog shit. You're thinking,
but he looked like dog shit. They didn't have no fucking weapons for him to do anything. Then they go get Breece Hall. They get Wilson. They get Devontae Adams. Like that could have changed Sam Darnold's career right there.
No, I agree. In fact, that goes into my argument I make with a lot of these quarterbacks. Like, people, some of these quarterbacks are put into terrible situations. Like Sam Darnold, for instance, goes to the Jets. He has nothing to work with, like no coaching, no weapons. Everybody calls him Biff from what's that?
Back to the Future?
Yeah, didn't he look like him? Or did he look like the brother from or he looks like or does he look like the brother from Home Alone? That's who it was. Yeah, he looks like the brother from Home Alone. But anyway, he's in a terrible situation, throwing picks like crazy. And then like the same thing with Baker Mayfield. Like Baker Mayfield goes to Cleveland. Everybody thinks he's done. Now, my argument on him doesn't look that great after last night. But in general, Baker Mayfield's had a hell of a year this year. And, sometimes quarterbacks, where you're picked and the situation you go to is so key, Yeah,
definitely. Agreed.
That's another one. Look at the kid from Chicago, Caleb Williams. I mean, he's at a team with, they had a defensive coach. Like they don't really exactly have an offensive mind. You know what I mean? Like, so Caleb Williams is kind of, I mean, he doesn't look that great in my opinion. Like, what do you guys?
I wouldn't panic on him.
Right. Well, that exactly.
You can tell he has a lot of talent. Like you said, it was a very defensive head coach. Like you need an offensive mind in there, to be able to maximize his potential on offense and his quarterback skills.
Yeah, if I'm them, I'm throwing like huge money at the OC from Detroit. Like
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
big time money with that dude, and I'm like, hey man, I'm
Him
like,
or
come
the
here,
Buffalo
work with
Bills
Caleb
guy?
Williams.
Yeah, save this guy. We'll try to get you whatever you need.
Oh yeah, yeah. We touched on this a little earlier. Paul Spencer says, on a sad note, did you guys see the bone sticking out of Tank Dell's knee and ACL again 2 times in back-to-back years? Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, it was rough.
So anything out? Any other things sticking out? Any other things stick out to you guys?
Michael Penix is the starting quarterback in Atlanta. See you later.
He looked all right too.
Kirk Cousins.
He looked all right. It always looks weird watching that left-handed quarterback play.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Yesterday I saw on X. Yesterday was the first time since 2012 that 2 left-handed quarterbacks started in the same game.
Who was the other one?
Two attack.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and
in the same game, though, they didn't play each other. Tua played against San Fran.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, not in the same game. I meant the same day.
Gotcha.
And, we touched on injuries, and, if you get hurt out there, I mean, hopefully you don't get hurt to the extent of Tank Dell, because that would be a hurt piece. I mean, I don't think anybody wants bone, hopping out of hanging out of their knee. But say you strain a muscle or you get a hernia, you know what I mean?
At work.
Yeah, at work. Yeah, exactly. Don't just let that shit slide, man. Get yourself some money. And if you want to get paid,
get that paper, Joe.
Get that paper, you know what I'm saying? Yo, it's the holidays too, man. I mean, I don't know. This might be a good time to slip on a banana peel, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but anyway, call my man Jason Fine, aka Attorney Big Al. Motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, workers' compensation, or like I said, personal injury claim. He's got 3 offices throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey, 1 in Philadelphia, PA, 1 in Cherry Hill, and 1 in Pittsburgh. So, hey, my man going to get your ass paid. Here we got another comment here. Let's see here. Maurice Wright says, Rattler might have a great game tonight versus Green Bay. Hope he doesn't. I got Green Bay. So
you think so in that cold?
No, it's snowing, baby.
Green Bay beats the shit out of them tonight.
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. And then McManus, if you're out there, I hope you don't kick nothing.
I think Jacobs goes off tonight.
Yeah, put like a night when McManus kicks that ball. Put like a nice stiff wind to have him like Cody Parkey that John.
You gotta blow it. You gotta blow at the screen.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I do that shit though. Do you guys do that too? I do. It has no effect on the kicker, but like I'll do one of these jaunts, like you know what I mean? Like, come on.
No, I do Joe Real like my dad used to do, but sometimes it does work, but
yeah, blow it that day.
Like this.
Oh man. It's funny because like sometimes sometimes you're watching that and you're like praying a guy misses a kick. Like the greatest one for me as an Eagles fan, I think by far was the Cody Parkey. That was just so tremendous.
We were
Yeah.
at the Patrice's house, remember?
What's that?
We were at the Cross house when he lost it, remember?
I wasn't. You probably were. I remember I was at my house.
Okay.
I was at my house, but no, hey man, it was still a great moment, What do you think of this here? Paul Spencer early line, Eagles -9.5, over under 43.5. I hate to say it, and I won't do it because it's against my religion, but I gotta keep it real, man. Looking at this right now, I think I would take Dallas plus the 9.
Yeah, but that tells me Jalen's playing.
I mean,
9.5 with Kenny Pickett.
No.
That's a 5.5 point line with Kenny Pickett in my opinion. 9.5 tells me Vegas thinks Jalen's playing on Sunday.
I'll take the under
at 1:00 now because the Eagles got flex out of 425.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense though. I mean, the Packers Vikings is a more bigger
Definitely.
game.
Definitely.
But it's funny though. That said though, I'm still a little surprised they flexed it out because the market of Philadelphia and the market of Dallas usually they never mess with that game because it's
But Dallas
market.
fans are down right now.
Yeah, but Dallas fans still watch though, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Even though they're not in the playoffs, if you look every single year, they're always like Dallas games are always like some of the top rated games, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Paul Spencer says Green Bay big tonight. Totally agree. Then he also says, I agree, Diego. This is a Hurts line. Yeah, it's gotta be. There's no way.
Yeah, it's too big. Kenny Pickett, he's not a minus 9.5 point quarterback.
I don't think Kenny Pickett would be favored by 9.5, even if he played SMU.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of that, you know what? All right, let's do Eagles predictions, and then I want to get into that. All right, let's make the predictions right now. Balls on the table, and it doesn't matter regardless of who plays quarterback. What's going on next week? Are the Eagles winning the football game? Is it going to be close? Is it going to be a sweat? And what's the score?
If Jalen plays, I say 34-17 Eagles. If Pickett plays, I still think the Eagles win, but in a closer game, like 24-20. The Phillies just signed a right-handed pitcher, Joe Ross.
Yeah.
Okay, just got that up.
Yep. Sean, what about you? What do you think?
If Pickett plays, Hurts plays 31-24 Eagles.
Okay.
Wow, so we're getting 31 points.
Yeah.
Back
If Hurts plays, but we should say.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking I'm going lower scoring, even if Hurts does play. Cooper Rush has been playing good ball, but I think the Eagles defense got a wake-up call yesterday, and I think the defense is going to come out. I mean, Dallas has no running game at all. You know what I mean? Like CeeDee Lamb's a little dangerous, but really, I think the Eagles defense makes a statement this week. I'm going to say like 20 to like a 20-12, where like Dallas gets some field goals and the defense just balls up. Something like that, like a 20-12 piece. Which, if the line's minus 9.5, that's a Dallas cover. That's an Eagles win and a Dallas cover, which I think happens. So, real quick then, I mentioned SMU. College football playoff started this weekend.
Penn State crushed them.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. SMU literally. First off, it was cold as balls in Penn State, and you got a team. I think SMU didn't play like in lower temperatures, lower than like 60 something.
Yeah, I think Penn State crushes Boise State this week too.
So do I, and so do I. In fact, I kind of have an issue with how they did the seedings though. Like they did Oregon dirty. If you think about it, Oregon's
got to play who?
I think Oregon plays Ohio State, don't they?
Yeah, they got to play the best team in the country.
Yeah, see, that's bullshit. Like if you think about it, and I'm not an Oregon guy, you know what I mean, per se. Like I could give two shits about Oregon, but the bottom line is like you worked your balls off all year to be the number one seed, and it seems like Penn State was like what was Penn State, a 5?
5.
6.
Okay.
6? 5 or 6.
Yeah. Well, and then what? Then like, why does Penn State have such an easy ass road? They get SMU and Boise State, like
because if I think the who they lost to, their schedule. I mean, it's all like you said. To me, it's all bullshit.
Why don't they just take the 12 teams, like have the college committee rank them from 1 to 12, and then one plays 12, and so on and so forth, right? Or you give the top 2, whatever. They could set it up better than that.
Yeah, I just feel like Penn State set up to make a run, and Oregon was the number one team, and they got to break their ball. Like to me, Oregon and Ohio State should not be playing in the second round. It should be more like a It should be more like at Penn State, Ohio State, when like Oregon playing, Oregon gets to
Boise.
play Boise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
for
what
sure.
it seems like.
The top seed should be rewarded with the easiest road.
Yeah, I think it's jerked off.
Agree.
Here's Paul Spencer's prediction for the game. He says Eagles 32, Cowboys 23 with Hurts, Cowboys 24, Eagles 22 without, 70-yard Aubrey field goal. Wow. Yeah, not in the cold though, brother. He's got a great leg, but not in the cold. Notre Dame, Paul Spencer, Notre Dame versus Georgia. Bro, I was freezing at Penn State. I was behind the SMU bench, and they weren't even moving with the heaters. And then one more. Penn State got the cake schedule at 6. They should reseed.
Yep.
Paul Spencer says, don't sleep on Arizona State. What do you think
I
about
totally
that?
agree with him. The running back, their defense, they're stingy, man. That running back, watch him. Number 4 for Arizona State. He's a bad dude.
Yeah,
And Notre Dame winning out against what's the name? Who did they play?
Indiana
in-house state game. Will Howard, just like me, you, and Paul said, I'm not sold on him. I like more of a running quarterback. He's that in-pocket kind of quarterback, but a win's a win, right?
Yeah, skate boo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Notre Dame, I know we're Notre Dame fans, Sean, you and I, and Paul. Yeah. I think Notre Dame could possibly beat Georgia. I would have never guessed that. Like a couple years ago, I would have said Notre Dame would get smoked by Georgia. But this particular Georgia team and this particular Notre Dame team, I think Notre Dame's got a shot of beating them. What do you think?
I agree.
Carson Beck is done for the season. He just got surgery today on his elbow.
Yeah, so Notre Dame definitely has a good shot.
Who's the backup quarterback for Georgia?
Not that good. I forget his name. He has a common last name, but anyway.
Smith.
I'd love to see the Irish make a run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I don't know if it could happen, but it'd be kind of cool to see Notre Dame versus Penn State, like back.
That's the key, man. That'd be sweet. That's the.
So Penn State wins, Notre Dame wins. They play each other.
Yes.
They do.
Yes, they do.
Wow, that would be pretty cool. All right,
that's
I'd love
cool.
to see that.
Go Penn State.
Those Lions.
Go Irish.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd just like to see it. You know what I mean? It'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see it.
You're going to hear all the Notre Dame Irish. Notre Dame, they're not Irish. They're French. See, Tim Walters, if you're out there, you know it's you.
Here we go. Paul Spencer says, this defense has to Gunnar Stockton. Oh, Gunnar Stockton is the backup quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he about to get a rude awakening because that's one thing. Notre Dame's defense is good. Their secondary is very good.
Yeah.
Gunnar Stockton better play like John Stockton.
Yeah. Well,
one guy's out for Notre Dame, Mills. I just got an alert earlier this afternoon for the Notre Dame defense.
Yeah, well,
Mills.
He about to get his ass beat. Hopefully.
Yep.
Diego's like, who cares about Notre Dame?
Yeah, you guys like Notre Dame.
Yeah, no.
I know you always like them, so I'll root for them.
Yeah, my grandfather raised me. It's Notre Dame Saturdays, Eagles Sundays, man.
When the Eagles sucked?
No, the Eagles were good. It just just Notre Dame. And Sean used to come. Sean, remember you were sitting on the couch the day when Chris Collingsworth's famous. Chris Collingsworth, when he first started announcing, had the biggest gaffe of all time. Diego, Notre Dame had a quarterback by the name of Ron Palis, and he was like he was like literally like the top recruit in like all college football. Like everybody was saying he was going to be like the next Montana, right? So
right.
So they're playing I think it was Michigan, right, Sean?
Yeah.
So they're playing Michigan early in the year. It's at Notre Dame Stadium. And Palis had a good game, and Chris Collingsworth goes, move over, Montana. And dude, Pallet. Now the funny thing is that Ron Pallis turned out to be like one of the biggest disappointments in like Notre Dame history. Like he never lived up to the billing. You know what I mean? And I'll never
Collinsworth
forget.
cursed him.
Oh, dude, he John Leaved him.
Move over, Montana.
Yeah, he leaved him. You know what I mean? And the funny thing is, if John's watching too, shout out to Leave. Yo, he's actually winning something. He made the Super Bowl in our league. Diego, you see that?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. You see all those drones and those orbs in the air, and I haven't been too concerned about them yet. I'm worried like crazy now because if he wins the Super Bowl, bro, I think the world's ending.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? Hang on, I got a comment here. Wait, Joe, did my dad lie to me? I was raised Notre Dame Saturday Cowboys Sundays.
That's weird.
Well, I agree with you on Notre Dame, but forget about the
those Cowboys.
Forget about the Cowboys. Hang on, I'll get to Dave's question in 1 minute. Dave says, guys, what's your take on the new Phil's pitcher? Maurice Wright says Bino killed Ron's career. Bino, what's he talking about? Bino Cook? I don't know. I'm confused. Man, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I think he touted him too. Maybe that's what he means. But, all right. But to get to Dave's question, because I wanted to get into little Phillies too. So forget the college. We could talk college next week or whatever, whenever they actually play. The Phillies, made a couple moves. Like you said, Diego, today they signed Joe Ross, starter reliever. But yesterday they made a huge trade with the Marlins, and they got that guy Luzardo. They gave up prospect. Who the hell was it? Oh, Starlin Caba, like a young shortstop.
19.
Yeah, supposedly he's a pretty high-rated prospect, but I mean, shit, he's at least like 4 years from the big leagues.
Right.
And they traded – I can't read what the hell I wrote, but they traded a young outfielder. That's what happens when you have shitty handwriting. But anyway, who cares? The bottom line is that we got a pitcher to really, really strengthen this rotation. So what's your takeaway? You guys takeaway on that move?
Nah, great move getting Luzardo. Left-handed pitcher.
I want to see 2022 Luzardo. Like you said, he struggled with back issues. But if he gets that 2022 pitching that he was doing, we're looking bright, man.
Yeah.
It's the little pieces, but
Didn't even add Painter into all this.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at this rotation, and you got Wheeler, Wheeler's one of the top one of the top 5 pitchers in baseball.
Yeah.
Nationally, he's like top 2, at least last year, right? So you got Wheeler. Right. Now, you got Nola. Nola is an innings eater. I consider Nola more like a 3-4 starter, but he's an innings eater, so he's good over the 162. Then you got Sanchez. Sanchez had a good year last year. He's a solid 3, 3-4. Ranger Suarez, I love Ranger, man, but I do wonder if maybe he's on the trading block because he just hired Scott Boras as his agent. The kid wants to get paid, but as much as I like him, he's never shown that he can pitch much more than like 100 and some innings a year. So he could be on his way out. But then you had this kid Luzardo, and then like you guys said, you got Andrew Painter.
Yeah, well, stacked.
So this pitching staff, the pitching staff looks great. But the problem is that the reason they lost though to the Mets had nothing to do with the starters. I mean, they lost to the Mets because the lineup couldn't do shit, and the bullpen failed. I mean, if you look at the Phillies. The Phillies got good starting rotation or good starting pitching every game of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, the other move they made is they added that guy, was it Kepler? How do you say his name?
Max Kepler.
Max Kepler. He's going to be your everyday left fielder.
Yeah, so now I don't love that. I mean, he's decent. I saw a couple stats. 2 years ago when he was healthy, I think he had like 24 homers, but last year he had some injury problems. Plus, he's another left-handed bat. I mean, this outfield really, really sucked ass last year.
Yeah.
I mean, Castellanos had a good second half of the year, but really, I mean, we're really going to platoon Marsh and Rojas again. I mean, that stinks to high end.
Something has to be done, like you said. They're saying he's tearing up the Mexican League or Dominican League. Rojas, whoop-de-do.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
He does bring that up here, but 9 times out of 10, that shit ain't gonna happen. Like we said before, the three of us, fix the outfielders because you moved on from Austin Hayes. He's no longer here. You got Kepler, you got Marsh, you got Rojas, you got Nicky Three Buttons. He golfs one day, he swings at the dirt the next. I mean, something's got to give, man. And I don't know why he didn't get any rest. He must have said something to Thompson to scare his ass for not him to take a day's rest or whatnot. But
yeah, but the problem is though the outfield sucked so bad, dude.
I know.
Who were they going to put in there? You know what I mean?
Right.
And the thing with Rojas in the Mexican League, I mean, this isn't like Willie Mays Hayes from Major League. You know what I mean? Like, who gives a shit about the Mexican League?
Exactly.
Nah, but it's good. It's good for him to stay in baseball form, baseball shape, and keep sharpening his tools. So that's what the Mexican League does for him.
The Mets are getting all this money from
more. He's a young player. More reps he gets. I mean, you usually get better. You know what I mean?
True, but he said
it's not like the Mexican League's that bad, dude. Trevor Bauer's over there, and he still has like a 2 ERA, so they can play.
Yeah, I would love to have Trevor Bauer up here, but the 4-letter word hurt him being falsely accused of. You know what I mean? He would be a hell of a pitcher in this lineup. But
yeah, but we don't. I mean, yeah, I hear you, but I mean, like, we don't need any more pitching. I mean, we need something with the lineup.
Yeah.
Dave says, where are the Mets getting all this money? They just gave Sean Manaea 3 years, $75 million. Well, I mean, their owner, Steve Cohen's got a ton of money. And it's funny because if the Phillies didn't make that Luzardo trade, like on Saturday, like Sean, I think we were texting back and forth.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't going to rip Middleton because it's hard to rip the Phillies owner because the Phillies owner, I mean, geez Christ, the payroll is close to $300 million.
Yeah, he spends money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I wasn't really going to rip him per se, but Dombrowski was going to get it a little bit because, like, the bottom line is, like, you got an owner that's spending close to $300 million. And I don't think anybody's confident. Like, if you're trying to sell this fan base on running it back, I don't think there's anybody in this fan base that's confident that thinks that this score is going to get over the hump. Like, I know I'm not.
I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, not that I want to rip Middleton, but it's kind of like, well, what the hell's the point of spending $300 million if going into the season you're not going to be good enough? I mean, it's kind of like hey, it might hurt a little bit, but bite the bullet and make that move. And I'm not talking about Juan Soto, obviously, like a Soto type, but I mean, make the move for a bullpen guy like a Tanner Scott,
that's what I want.
You know what I mean? Or make a trade for a legit outfielder that'll maybe change the dynamics of this lineup. Like you're coming back with pretty much the same shit.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, man, but the Phillies to me are like they're Sixers like now to me. Like it's kind of like Wake Me in October. Like this baseball team could go out and be 30 games over 500 like they were last year up to the first week of July. And I hate to say it, but I don't give a shit because I only care about what happens in the playoffs. Like to me, regular season doesn't mean shit to me. I want to see you proven in October.
I don't want, like you said, plug and play players. If we have to get somebody like a good household name in the outfield or the bullpen, like you said, I'm with it. But stop getting these guys like I like the Kepler, unlike you, but get somebody else better to kind of rejuvenate the outfield. Like, give it some life. But I
No,
mean, it remains to be seen. Who knows? Maybe they know something we don't know. And
no, I was Sean. I'm okay with the. I don't dislike the Kepler move. I'm okay with it. I
No, I
think
know
he
you.
can play a little bit. My only point is that can't be it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
no.
Like,
True.
you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we need more than that. Like,
Damn right we do. Get me something. Get me a nice little extra punch in the outfield, like, some more power. Something. Like the Yankees. How about them guys? They're wheeling and dealing, man. Getting Goldschmidt, getting the kid Devin Williams from the Brewers, and who else did they get?
Cody Bellinger.
Cody Bellinger. That's going to be fun in the clubhouse because Bellinger is married to Stanton's ex.
Oh yeah, that's right. You sent that to me. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, that's going to be nice. hitting 1-2 next to each other. You know what I mean? But they're being aggressive in the free agency. Christian Walker going to Astros. That was a big. And Naylor, they lose him, and then Naylor goes to Arizona. I think Vladimir Guerrero is getting kind of pissed off. I could see him wanting to trade or getting traded, him and Bichette. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. What do you guys think of this? This was really a shame. This was kind of a shocker. I mean, Ricky Henderson is only 65 years old. He says, Dave Arnold says, did the Ricky Henderson news shock you guys? Yeah, I was surprised because he always seemed like he was in great shape. It just goes to show you, man, when it's your time, it's your time,
Yeah, for sure.
The man of steel, man. He was exciting to watch. I think me and you were going back and forth, Joe. He just, when he stole his career base against the Yankees. Yeah.
Well, what's funny, when I started watching baseball, like, the Phillies sucked most of our childhood, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except for 93. So of course, obviously I've always been a Phillies fan, but I used to love those A's. I like the Bash brothers. Like, I rooted for the A's every year they made the World Series. And then,
they were exciting, man.
When they added Ricky Henderson to the top of that lineup, like, you talk about a lineup. Think about it. You had Ricky Henderson, Carney Lansford. You had what's his face? Canseco, McGuire, Dave Henderson. That was that Oakland team was so stacked. Like, really, they won one World Series. I'm surprised they didn't win 3. Who?
Terry Steinbeck.
Walt Weiss. That was it's funny that it's funny how, like, when you're a kid, you could remember like whole lineups. I could barely name any team's lineup anymore.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I knew like every player on every team.
Yeah,
ain't it nuts?
Yeah, well, you have more time. You have more time as a kid and a better memory.
I know. I was like Rain Man when it comes to lineups back then. You know what I mean? My dad. I used to win my dad money. He'd be at the bar sometimes, and he'd call me on the phone. He's like, "Yo." He's like, "Joey." He's like, "Who's the center on San Diego?" And I knew the answer. I used to win him beers. I'd be like 9 years old. You know what I mean? Knowing that shit. Now, if somebody asked me, I'd be like Ralph. I'd be like Frampton, like humming. You know what I mean? Like, shit.
Yeah.
But what do you say? I guess let's get ready to wrap up here. One thing, we'll get into it next week, I guess. But the Sixers actually have been playing better basketball, and in fact, I didn't see if Embiid's.
No, he's not playing.
That's crazy.
He's not playing tonight.
I don't think he is. Don't think he is. Don't. Yeah.
Let's see.
No, because I was really looking forward, because there's actually some good games on tonight. You got Sixers got actually probably just started.
Sixers Spurs just started, and then you got Pittsburgh Penguins Flyers, and you got Green Bay and New Orleans.
Yeah, we already touched on this real quick before we go. Green Bay and an ass whooping. I'm calling Green Bay by like 17.
Yeah, Green Bay kicks your ass tonight, in my opinion.
Okay. Sean, you agree?
Low scoring game for me.
Okay.
that's what you're hoping. But I'm saying, what do you think happens?
Shocker. New Orleans wins.
Really?
Yeah. How do you like that? I
Take
told
him
you
on the
that,
money
that
line.
Brandon McManus kicker. Come on. Get me to the bowl.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you if you take New Orleans on the money line, that's probably a good payday.
There you go.
So, all right, well, listen, Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody out
Christmas.
there.
Merry Christmas, guys. Have a
Yeah,
good time with your families.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
be back.
You as
Yeah,
well,
we'll be back
everyone.
next Monday with hopefully the NFC Eastern Division champions.
Damn right.
And honestly, once they lock up the division, they're pretty much locked in the 2 seed because the Rams and the South winner can't catch them.
Yeah. Yep.
True.
So, all right. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. I'll talk to you guys
Merry
later.
Christmas.
Have a
Go
good one.
Birds.
Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas.
See ya.
Peace.